the Null and Void event, an event which was surprisingly incredible, with parts that were so good that they genuinely made me emotional. This event came with amazing skins, stories, designs, and much more. So, how exactly did an event so good happen in the first place? Let's get to the beginning, to the start of the Null and Void event. We start off in some weeks before the event, where the devs vote announced the first live event ever since the hardcore update. This live event would be a admin abuse event, which, as its name suggests, has admins abusing their powers, although through unique ways. With the release of the first live event in years, we had what we could technically call a game mode. It came with tons of new enemies, some reskins and some original ones, and even some returning enemies, including the corrupted conservator. The theme of this live event was pretty cool, seeming like we are on the news. When a dev digits a new command to admin a boot, it appears next to Lord Exo, as quite like as Lord Exo would be the one typing the commands. This admin abuse live event was quite well received by most people, although there were some complaints, like glitches, unbalanced waves, and the worst of all, the lag, which was insanely bad. This live event left the community quite divided between the ones that liked it and the ones that didn't, but there were some problems that were facts and couldn't be ignored. The second live event we have the same game mode, but with some changes. The waves were made a bit more balanced. This time we didn't have so many glitches, and we also had some different enemies that time, with even a different boss, the Mechanical Rod, a returning boss from a while ago. It was in the Hidden Wave back in 2021. It's cool to see him return here. This live event didn't come without any issues, however, as the lag was still present and this time even worse than before. Although there were some issues with the live events were quite good for an admin book. With even a new crate being added, this live event was interesting, but it would only be a preparation for what was to come. On the 18th of October, Night 1 releases, and with it, the Null and Void event. Night 1 begins with a cutscene, where Scott is in a strange place. He hears Umbra voice, which is when he starts to run. Scout then encounters the God Cube and nearly touches it when he is teleported to another place, a place where Lord Exo is localized. He picks Scout up but nearly deletes him when we discover that this was our dream. Scout wakes up and for some reason he has hair. We discover that the entire TDS team is united in their new outpost, Outpost 16, where Professor V and NetDuck are trying to bring back the God Cube together for scientific reasons. We discovered that all the main mode's bosses also had God Cube shards, and that now we have half of the God Cube. A half God Cube really doesn't seem like a good idea, and it isn't. The plan doesn't go as planned, and the tissue of reality starts to break, bringing no enemies to the TDS realm. The first few enemies are very basic, with some being from the past live event, like the Null. The meta of this night is very easy. Just get some croak bosses as always and you will be okay. There's also a new feature in this event, the curses, which you will need to choose one of them between three of them, and each one has its pros and cons, one being worse than others, and some even being just really good or just really annoying. Around wave 10 we start to get stronger enemies, but more difficult to deal with. We get to see new troops or towers if you want to call it so, corrupted versions of the towers of the game, including no scout and no propose, and even no freezer, which will freeze your towers. This one is a bit annoying. No warden can also be annoying as it has lead and has tons of health. This means you needed something like accelerator or turret. Or you could just use Golden Scout, which is insanely OP for some reason. On the final wave we see that in some distant realm or something like that, two figures appear, 2X and Rift Walker. 2X orders Rift Walker to interfere with what's happening at our outpost and stop the realms or the metas they call it from collapsing because of us. On wave 20 we have the Null Commander, which is a very cool boss that has some abilities similar to the Commander Tower. He can spawn APCs and stun towers. There may be other abilities but I won't remember it now. After we defeat the Null Commander we get the final cutscene.
Should have remained shattered. Its existence alone is a threat to us all. You cannot fathom the sacrifices we've made. And now that you threaten the delicate balance of the meta, we will eradicate your existence so thoroughly that not even the memory of you will remain.
We were trying to!
There are no second chances.
What have we done?
A dreadful night, isn't it?
After quite a few days, we finally get night 2. In this night, we are now trapped in the outer new zone, alongside familiar faces, mainly the narrator, which it was really exciting to see Naruto after 2 years since the Luna Over 2 incident. Naruto even jokes about he not having even a cutscene in Act 3, which was quite funny.
You guys ruined me! I spent years perfecting that script and you didn't even give me a cutscene that ended?
We also have titles in this event, although he doesn't appear much. In this night we'll have the Null Guardian, which was sent by the Rift Walker to end the existence of dangerous people that could threaten the meta, like us. On the early waves it wasn't quite that easy, different from night 1. In night 2 we actually had to have a plan, because there were flank enemies very low. We also get to see a new gimmick. I don't even know how to call them exactly, but I call them blue crystals. They speed up enemies that pass through it, which is really annoying. Around wave 10, the strong enemies start to appear. Getting a GD on level 3 here was essential. I died some times in this night and there were some close calls, but not that many. Something that I found quite cool for this event, which is a small detail but adds up to the immersion, is the fact that lots of old things fall from the sky, like scrapped enemies, towers and even the star cannon from Selected. On wave 17 we have the Null medic, which was a great addition to this event. She as a medic heals enemies, which might become a big problem later on, like when the Null Pyros appear, which are insanely strong on night 2. We also had the No Electroshocker, which are very fast and stuns your towers upon dying. At some point, night 2 gets a bit annoying, not that much, but by the sheer quantity of enemies with Nemo. There are some funny dialogues of narrator too, which is very cool. The dialogues on this night and the next one are simply incredible.
What?
On the final wave we fight against the Null Guardian. He has around half a million health, depending on the quantity of the players. And by himself won't be that big of a problem, but he comes alongside lots of strong enemies, including no Paros with no medics. Yeah. Look at him, and I also got Null Guardian's lookbook on my second time killing him. On the final cutscene, we defeat Null Guardian, and Naruto starts yapping a lot as always. There's some funny things here and there until Naruto's jinx it.
You're still alive! As if today couldn't get any worse! You're lucky the rest walker didn't put a failsafe on his corpse so he can kill us himself!
You had to chase it?
Saga! I hate you the most! Let me!
You and your brothers are weak. I'm unimpressed. I will see that you will kneel before our master. No, I don't think you will.
You never play dead? You sucker!
I guess there are second chances. Yeah, let's see.
Lord Exo's body was destroyed eons ago. But yours?
We'll do nicely. The realms will collapse if I die. Good.
The final night, with an epic cutscene and introduction Now the children of EXO alongside Naruto, which has destroyed us, have all the parts of the God Cube, uniting it and using it on the Rift Rock. So Lord EXO finally has a body to come back once and for all.
I bet you didn't see that coming. He was like, ah, please don't do it. Ah!
We should have shot you when we had the chance.
Easy! We don't want to lose our minimal content rating!
The map of this night is quite similar to the Night 4 map from Solar Eclipse, although a bit shorter. And it even has 3 lanes, just like Night 4. At this point it was quite obvious that Night 3 would be quite similar to Night 4 from Solar Eclipse, although I wasn't waiting for what came later.
Now that we have the God Cube, our master will finally be reborn. We sacrificed so much to get to this point, and all that's left for us is the path of EXO. At one point we looked up to you, but no longer! Now we can crush the heart of your organization until it stops beating.
On wave 7 we got our first curse, and also something familiar, the Star Cannon. After 4 years, it came back, and this time it will be important. This night is very difficult as I lost lots and lots of times on hard mode, as the difficulty wasn't insane enough. On wave 10 we already have a type of mini-boss, the Null engineer, with around 10,000 health. It is insanely difficult to deal with it, as she can place sentries, which are really annoying, and she's not that slow either. With the addition of the blue crystals again in this night, it becomes even more annoying. And even more annoying is the fact that the waves skip very quickly, so you absolutely need to kill the enemies as fast as you can. This night is very difficult, and it is not even a joke, as I even nearly lost on easy mode, which is insane as I never lost in easy mode before, and I don't think anyone either. After some, or can I say many attempts, I was able to pass through wave 10, but the hard part wasn't over yet. Later we got no Paros and no Guardians again, and on wave 50 we had a surprise, the Null Pursuit, a flank mini-boss which was very cool to see, but it had 17,000 health, which meant we would certainly need more air defenses, or else we would lose, like I did sometimes.
There he is! We need to take him down quickly!
Do you think you can defeat me? I swore that if we ever cross paths again, I would make this personal!
On wave 20 it was time for our first true mini-boss, Kronos, one of the children of EXO. He had some insane abilities, and an insane amount of health. One of his abilities is even stopping time, which matches with his name. He also has some other abilities, where he uses the staff that he has from Krampus with the God Cube to use abilities similar to Frost Spirit and Krampus. Surprisingly, Cronus was a very, and I mean very cool boss fight.
No matter. The majority of the power has been absorbed into the Riftwalker. His fate is already sealed. They used this place as a dumping ground to remove what was no longer wanted. To get rid of their problems with ease. The Riftwalker and his master can erase history in their own realms, but not here. Their problems are back to haunt them.
After this battle, on wave 23 we have the Null Brawler. He jumps changing on what path he is, and sometimes not. This is quite an interesting enemy. Sometimes he jumps forward and sometimes backward, so it makes it very random and dangerous if you don't know how to counter it right. After a random joke, we have the Null Accelerator on wave 25. It's quite OP, having tons of health and being able to switch the place of towers, which might be a problem if he switches the place of a GJ.
Killzone's unstable energy was created from endless eons of war. Look what it's done to your necromancer. Imagine what it can do when it's harnessed.
Wave 27 came and it also had another Null enemy, the Null Necromancer, alongside an entire army of skeletons, even having returning enemies like the Hollow Guard and even Skeleton Executioner, which is from the Necromancer Tower. Although using everything we had, we lost, but I won't give up that fast, and not even my friends. After some days of the release of Night 3, we prepared ourselves once again for another round. This time to win. to the wave that we were able to kill the Null Necromancer this time. And now we are on the final path to the final wave. On wave 29 we discovered something interesting.
Sinister destroyed our town's reputation after you left, but that's when we discovered a shard, along with this clown. Our people left the town and were forced to abandon everything. You claim to be heroes, but you saved no one.
This was insane to me and probably most people. Finally a bit more depth to the Children of X, which was pretty cool.
Run out of time. It's too late now. It's time to witness the dawn of a new era. One where all will kneel before Lord Exo.
Commander, get that cannon ready!
I can eat it! I'm the young cannon! Gonna create this haters or something! Fuck!
After finally building the cannon and charging it up, I took a deep breath and finally it was time.
Try us!
This is bad! This is really bad!
Focus everything we have on Exo! We need to stop him here, otherwise everyone will be in danger. Grab the batteries around the area and load them into the cannon.
Cronus! This wasn't the deal!
We need to go back! We need to go back right now!
What happened?
He has her! He has her.
Alexa! Now that you're back, I have a marvelous performance that you'll love! It's been so long! May I? I'm not needed. Right. Okay, I'll just go then. Thank you, sir. Well, I hope to see you there for my spectacular premiere! And you better show up!
Now, what do I think of this event? The Null and Void event is an event that is very interesting. Night 1 was a pretty good start for the event, introducing important characters at the core of the event. Night 2 was great, having the return of Naruto as one of its main focus. The Alter New Zone was such a cool idea, having old scrapped things from the game on the map, and even more cool enemies. The only issue really is that it was a little buggy. Now Night 3 was something. It already began with an insane cutscene, where Rift Walker nearly dies. Naruto kinda betrays us, really not because he was never on our side. The children of Exo appearing as important characters instead of doing nothing, and Naruto being behind it all, placing the God Group shot, the Dark Realm, and so many other plots that are simply insane for the game. The enemies had a lot of unique features to them, and this night overall was very difficult, different from past recent events which were kinda easy and you could win in just one day or less. In the end, I don't even need to say much, it was simply incredible. I genuinely got emotional when the final cutscene played. At that moment, I realized that my childhood game had risen to a level that I didn't even thought that was possible before. Although we had some things that weren't that great about the event, like the Battle Pass which didn't have that many good skins, the event was still great. Having a great introduction with the 2 live events, and insane nights with insane narratives. And I dare to say, this is the best TDS event ever, at least lore-wise and quality-wise and some other things. The only bad thing really that I can find is that it is about the Battle Pass and the fact that the bosses aren't that memorable like in the Solar Eclipse. And so yeah, I'm quite divided between Solar Eclipse or this event being the best for me, but really, if I remove the nostalgia factor, I would say that this is the best TDS event ever. So I think that's it. Thanks for watching. Subscribe if you can, because this video took a long time. and goodbye.